Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon X with only one Snubbull was a crazy hard Gen 6 run. Let's follow that up with one I haven't done in over 5 years. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Eevee. Can you believe it's been over 5 years since I've done a run with a single Eevee? If you asked me, I would have guessed like 2023, but no, apparently I haven't done one since 2020. Right away, our stats aren't going to be great, pretty even across the board with slightly more special defense and slightly less special attack. This is Gen 4 though, so we might have the adaptability ability to get more power out of our normal moves. By level up, we learn Bite, Quick Attack, and Sand Attack. Those are really the only moves here that look useful to me. I guess you could argue that you could get cheesy with Trump Card in some gym fights, but I don't see how it could help us without a lot of setup, so I doubt it would be all that useful in the long run. Then we look at the TMs, and unfortunately, there isn't really a whole lot of coverage here. Dig will be good, but that's about it. I think I might have to change my system clock to get Return, because this really doesn't look good overall. I would say Shadow Ball is good, but it's special, so Bite might be the better choice. Maybe Return, Bite, Rest, and Substitute? I'm really not feeling great about this moveset. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I gotta be honest, I'm not convinced that I can beat Lance. Maybe Return with adaptability and high attack can just bulldoze him, but this moveset is genuinely terrible. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Eevee. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Eevee so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Eevee, like usual. Our nature is Impish, so more defense and less special attack. I mean, after tons of restarts, this is the best one I got. I kinda would've preferred to have more attack and less special attack, but the odds of getting both that nature and adaptability is really low, so I'm just gonna stick with this one. So the early travel is fine, we're a little bit stronger than a first form starter right now, but I don't think it's gonna last all that long. Like right away, I think that we're gonna have to grind before we can beat the Flying Gym, just because they have Roost and they might out-heal us. We can't get any moves with decent power this early in the run, so leveling up is the only choice we have. I'll go do Bellsprout Tower to get a little stronger, and then see how the Flying Gym goes. Well, the Flying Gym wasn't exactly hard, but it sure was dumb. On the first try, I lost thanks to Pidgeotto out-healing us with Roost, so I thought I could try again and use Tail Whip. Problem is, I then tried 3 times in a row where we got crit by Pidgeotto, then another 3 times after that where Pidgey used Sand Attack instead of Tackle. Then it was on the 8th total try that everything just went normally. We got our Tail Whips in and easily won. Why is Pokemon like this? I swear it's just trolling me half the time. Alright, so there's 2 major fights between us and getting a better move. The Bug Gym and our rival. Now, we can literally not beat our rival until we hit level 29 and learn Bite, since he has a Ghost type, and we have no TMs right now that can hit Ghosts. Normally, I would use Mud Slap, but we don't get that from Falconer and Heart Gold. So we have to do the Bug Gym first, but that's just a hard fight in general. Scyther is really dangerous, and I don't think we're going to be able to take him out until close to level 30 anyway. Once we can win both of those fights, we can at least go to the tutor to teach us Headbutt for a better move, but until then we're stuck with Tackle and eventually Quick Attack. This is probably going to be a disaster. I'm just holding out hope that adaptability saves us, because we're actually hitting pretty hard against random wild Pokemon because of it. Alright, well, I saw this coming. We had an awful time against Scyther. Every time he shows up, he just U-turns to switch to Metapod or Kakuna, and although they're pretty easy to take out, Scyther hits us incredibly hard every time he tags back in. We didn't stand a chance at all. Maybe if I level up a few times to get Quick Attack, then I could win. Well, this actually surprised me. 2 levels later, and the Bug Gym actually went great. Mind you, it's because he kept using Focus Energy each time that he came back in, and he never crit us, so those were wasted turns. But it was an easy first try with Quick Attack. He easily could have beaten us if he just used Quick Attack himself more often, but we won instead. That's kind of a problem, because we need to be level 29 to learn Bite, otherwise we literally can't hit our rival's Ghastly. I guess I just rare candy up to level 29 then. We don't really have an alternative. The run will actually be harder if we candy up instead of grinding here, since it means our effort values will be lower for the next fight, so May as well. I was about to say no one ever complains about me making the run harder, but that's not true. That's not true. Pokemon fans can complain about anything, I've learned this. That applies to me, by the way. I'm a Pokemon fan, and I love to complain. Well, naturally, the rival was crazy easy since we had to level up so much just to be able to hit Ghastly. We didn't even take any damage, although it's because Quilava was wasting time. Alright, I think we might actually have a little bit of smooth sailing now. We have the normal gym, our rival, and the ghost gym coming up. Now, I'm gonna have to grab Headbutt from the move tutor. That way we have a solid normal move, and I think it's gonna be enough to overpower the normal gym and our rival. Then there's the ghost gym, but it might be a sweep with Bite. I'm not really sure. I'm really holding out hope that it goes well, though, because I know that the gyms after that are gonna be a whole lot worse. We'll find out when we get there, I guess. Well, as expected, the normal gym was crazy easy. We didn't even get hurt. Headbutt with adaptability is incredibly powerful. Think we're gonna get a no damage sweep on our rival in the Burnt Tower? Place your bets now. Well, those of you who guessed that we would get a no damage sweep are correct. Mind you, it's only because I picked up the TM for Dig so I could one-shot the Magnemite, but obviously I was gonna need that. I mean, it's probably our only way of beating the Steel Gym later. Now let's see if Bite is enough for the Ghost Gym. Well, most of the Ghost Gym was just easy one-shots, but the Gengar fight was kinda close. He kept putting us to sleep then spamming Sucker Punch. I thought that I might actually lose if I dropped his health low enough for him to potion back up, but thankfully our last bite did a lot more damage than our first bite, so we ended up still winning on the first try. Alright, it's time for things to get a whole lot harder. We have the Fighting Gym and the Steel Gym coming up, and I figure that both of those are going to be pretty hard. We're weak to Fighting type, and you know how insanely tanky the Steelix is in that Steel Gym. We also have an Ice Gym, but I don't think that's going to be too bad, and the rival fight right after probably isn't too bad either, but it's all about that Steel Gym. I think I'll start with the Fighting Gym and just see what happens. Hey, by the way, you know that thing you guys have been telling me to do every single day for 6 years? A Nuzlocke? Well, now I finally am. I've been doing streams of my first ever Nuzlocke here on the channel and uploading the VODs after. Right now, they're all going up here, but in the future, they might be going up on my Streaming VODs YouTube channel, linked in the description. This is my first Nuzlocke, so it's just the classic rules, but in the future ones, when I have more practice, I might make it harder. Come hang out! I'm naming all my Pokemon after random people in the chat, so you might end up on the team. Alright, this is what I thought might happen. Things started great against Primeape, as he just used Double Team and didn't dodge anything, so we took him out pretty fast. He used a Hyper Potion, but at least that means that Poliwrath can't. The problem is, Poliwrath took less than half his health and damage, put us to sleep, and then one-shot us with Focus Punch. I might have to try until I either get a flinch, or that Hypnosis misses. So a couple tries later, I thought I might do well since Poliwrath used Body Slam instead of Hypnosis, but we ended up paralyzed 3 turns in a row. What are even the odds of that? Hey, just one try later and things went totally different. Primeape didn't use Hyper Potion, and we took him out fast, but that means that Poliwrath is more dangerous. Thing is, he uses Body Slam and didn't paralyze us, and thanks to his berry, he didn't land with low enough health to use a Hyper Potion. His Hypnosis missed, and we took him out. Now let's go lose to the Steel Gym. Well, the Magnemites were both one-shot, so that's good. The Steelix, less so. Being super effective with Dig is cool and all, but Steelix has the highest defense of any Pokemon you run into in Johto. We didn't do much damage, and her Iron Tails hit incredibly hard. I think I'm gonna have to go do the Rocket Hideout in the Ice Gym before I can win this one. Also, if you want to watch what that looks like, by the way, you should check out the live tab on this very YouTube channel, because I streamed my whole way through Rocket Hideout, as well as the previous gym and this gym. Was it interesting? No, but you can watch it. Alright, so the Rocket Hideout got me quite a few levels, so I tried the Ice Gym while I was in town. We actually did take quite a bit of damage overall, but we also were doing so much damage with Headbutt that we won pretty easily. Do I think I'm ready for the Steel Gym? Well, no, but we might be close. Well, after the live stream had to watch me lose an agonizing 13 times in a row due to the worst damage ranges ever, we had this try. I kept experimenting with the fight over and over, with Dig always dropping her to low enough health to Hyper Potion up and win. Headbutt left her with a Sliver, so she still used it, so we thought that maybe Bite would work. Well, after our billions of failed tries, we got one where the luck lined up just right, and we just lost anyway because Bite was actually too weak, so the Dig still left it with a Sliver. Alright, I'm gonna go grab a King's Rock. Maybe adding flinches to dig could help. That was a great suggestion from the chat, by the way. Again, if you go to the live tab, you can watch this whole process of the many failed fights if you really want to for some reason. I cut these things out for a reason. It sucks to watch this. You know what sucks even more than watching someone lose to the Steel Gym over and over is being the guy who has to do it. Alright, well after what I think was a total of 17 tries, we finally got this one where I kept using Headbutt at the start, and between flinches and a well-timed Sandstorm, we were hardly getting hit. We ended up dropping her into a really good damage range, so I did an extremely weak bite for safety, then hit Dig to finally win. I'm gonna say that Christopher Ferguson willed us on to win because he called me cool in the chat right before I won the fight. After that is our rival, but obviously with this many levels, it was a bit of an afterthought. Well, I'm traveling to the Dragon Gym, and I figured this is gonna be a rough one. When isn't it though, right? The Heart Gold Dragon Gym is always a really hard fight in these solo runs. The fight starts with Water Onyx, so our attack is going to be down the whole fight from Intimidate, and that alone is going to be a big problem. That's probably going to leave us too weak to one-shot the Dragonairs, and that means we're getting paralyzed. And if we get weakened and paralyzed, what are we even going to do to make it to Kingdra? I don't know, I'm skeptical about the fight. King's Rock isn't going to help me if I'm paralyzed, so I might need a new held item, and I figure that I'm going to need more levels. But I'll worry about that once I get there, I guess. Also, I hate to even bring this up because I feel like an idiot saying this, but there's a new feature on YouTube that's apparently very important, so I just have to suck it up and get used to saying this. Can you please hype the video? Now, I know like 70% of you have no idea what that means, and probably hates it as much as I do, but there is now a button on mobile where you can hype the videos. So far as I can tell, it just recommends it to more people on YouTube. I'm not even sure. It doesn't show up on my phone for some reason. It just doesn't show up for some people on any channel, and I don't know why. I've never had it show up on any channel for me, but apparently for some people it shows up on my channel. So far as I can tell, it just recommends the video to more people on YouTube. It's basically like a second like button, but without saving the video to a like list, I guess. I don't know, man. I already had to get used to the whole like, comment, and subscribe thing, and I still kinda hate having to say that. But then they added the whole ring the bell thing because subscriptions alone didn't mean anything anymore. Now it seems like ringing the bell doesn't even do anything because I never get notifications regardless. So I guess hype the video, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and ring the bell is what you're supposed to do now. You have like a half dozen chores to do every YouTube video that you want to support, I swear. So that's your homework for the day. I hope you enjoy your YouTube homework. Ugh. YouTube is a nightmare. I'm getting back to the run. Well, this went badly. Water Onyx starts the fight, so we lose some attack right away, and that means we are taking tons of damage. We hardly got the knockout on Water Onyx, but it didn't really matter. We had such low health that the first Dragonair took us out easily. I think it's fair to say that I'm gonna have to level up for this one. First though, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a Silk Scarf. Maybe that's gonna power up our Headbutt enough that this fight goes better. Alright, I came back after a bunch of Voltorb flip, and the Silk Scarf is exactly strong enough that we can get a 2-shot on Water Onyx now, but the problem is that we always get paralyzed by Dragonair. We can get past it eventually, but we never even get a hit in on Kingdra. I'm gonna change my system clock to Sunday and get the TM for return, but if that doesn't one-shot the Dragonairs, then I think I'm gonna have to level up more. Alright, so we come back with return. We do crazy damage now. Water Onyx uses a Hyper Potion, so at least we don't need to worry about that later, and second is Dragonair, who we can actually one-shot now, so we're back in the game. Third is Kingdra, and although we do great damage, we get smokescreened twice and start getting hit really hard. We missed twice and dropped to only 2 health, but eventually we landed the knockout. Last is a final Dragonair, and if we miss, then we lose, but we hit, so we get the knockout. Last before the Elite Four is our rival, but this was a no-damage sweep. The combo of a Silk Scarf, return, and adaptability is just unreal. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our speed is solid, but overall, these stats aren't great. Actually, our defense is way lower than I thought it would be, considering we're buffing it with our nature. Our attack isn't amazing either, although I assume that our Silk Scarf and our adaptability are going to do a lot to help offset that. I think I was wrong to assume that this might not be winnable, because I really underestimated adaptability, but I still don't think we're winning anytime soon. I'm thinking that we're going to beat Koga and Will pretty easily, get stuck on Bruno until we level up more, Karen won't be too bad, and then we're not beating Lance until somewhere near, I don't know, high level 80s. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. Well, first is Psychic Trainer Will. Outside of his Executor putting us to sleep, setting up Reflect, and hitting hard with Psychic, we had a really easy first try. I'm sure the Slowbro could have really messed us up since the Executor's Psychic dropped our special defense, but for some reason, he just used Amnesia, so he really easily won. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Right away, Ariados is a one-shot, but Fortress very much isn't. It didn't really hurt us much, but it took ages and took a ton of hits of return to take it out. Muck was just a one-shot thanks to a crit, and after that is Crobat, who survives a hit and hits us with Wing Attack, so we're in yellow health as he goes down. Last is Venomoth, but it's just a one-shot, so we won on the first try. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. First is Hitmontop, who's a one-shot, and second is Hitmonlee, who's also a one-shot. Third is Machamp though, and on 9 tries in a row, we just brought him to a sliver as he one-shot us with Cross Chop. He's got no guard, so he can't miss that move. On the 10th try, though, we one-shot him. No crit, just good damage ranges. After that is Onyx, who actually hurt us quite a bit before we made him faint. I would use Dig, but I was afraid he would use Earthquake while we were underground. Once he went down, though, Hitmonchan is last, and he was just a one-shot. It took a while, but it wasn't all that bad. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. Right away, Umbreon gets us with Confuse Ray as we two-shot it. Second is Gengar, and I was kind of worried about what it might do, but we just bite it, and it uses Spite. The next bite took it out. As Houndoom came out, we snapped out of Confusion and landed a one-shot with Return. And fourth is Murkrow. It hits us pretty hard with Sucker Punch before we one-shot it. Last is Vileplume, and we left it with a sliver so it paralyzed us. But she used a full restore, then got one-shot right after, so it went fine. Finally, the Pokemon champion Lance. Well, right away he opens with Water Onix, so our attack is down from Intimidate, and because of that, we take an unreal amount of damage before we can make Water Onix faint. Naturally, the Dragonite just takes us out easily right after, but that's okay. We weren't getting a two-shot anyway. I'll go get some levels, but I kinda get the feeling that we're not gonna win this fight until we level up quite a lot. So after leveling up bit by bit, level 70 was the first level where we don't get taken out the moment Dragonite comes out. And you know what happens? We survived Outrage with a few health points left, then got taken out on the very next turn. Guys, we're gonna have to level up a ton before we can win this fight. So I got to level 75, and we had this try where Water Onix hardly hurt us, and thanks to Dragonite using Safeguard, we actually got past him. We even took out the one right after, thanks to him missing Dragon Rush, but the third one finally beat us when it hit Blizzard. I mean, I guess I could try until it misses, but I still need Dragon Rush to miss, and that would be pretty lucky. What level do you think we need to be able to win this without getting unreal luck? 85? 90? Alright, level 80, and this time we got farther literally just because of a crit, but we also got paralyzed, and it doomed us when we otherwise could have maybe won. I mean, we're getting really close to some one-shots. I think that I can actually win this in a few levels. Level 85, and although we take very little damage from stuff like Hyper Beam now, we just lose because of paralysis every time. In fact, it's rare that I even get as far as I did at level 80 because of it. We're just so close to getting one-shots, though. I really think that at level 90, then some of these might go down in one hit, and that would help us a lot. I'm not sure, though. We might need to be a higher level than that to make it less random. You know how damage ranges can be. So after many failed tries at both level 90 and 92, here's a few tries into level 95, and we are finally getting somewhere. Water Onix is a one-shot now, so although we have more health, it also means that they have more full restores left. The first Dragonite was a one-shot, and even the second one was a one-shot, so we're on a roll, but the third one lucked out and hung on with a sliver. He paralyzed us right away, healed back up, then got one-shot. I guess I was getting too lucky. Charizard hit a pretty weak Air Slash before we one-shot him, and last is Aerodactyl. He used 3 full restores in a row as we kept hitting return, but through sheer good luck, we never missed a turn to paralysis. We took some damage, but we ended up finally getting a decisive victory. With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Heart Gold has all of Kanto in the postgame, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are super easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna go skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. And I mean, there's no way I win, right? Did you see how many levels I needed to get past Lance? I actually think that Blue might be kinda easy, just because we don't have to deal with Intimidate the whole fight, but Red is obviously not happening. I think I'm gonna have to learn Substitute so I can avoid Intimidate in the Blue fight, because I think he's got 2 Pokemon that give us that. And other than that, it's still up to Return Spam. If we make it past Blue, then I'll go climb Mount Silver just so we can see how far we get against Red. I figure if I'm faster than Pikachu, then we'll one-shot it and lose to Snorlax, but if not, we're just gonna get one-shot right when the fight starts. Guess we'll find out when we get there. Well, if we get there. Alright, it's time for Blue, and it literally took me 18 tries to figure out how to do this. The first Pokemon is Exeggutor, and it's vital that his Trick Room wears off on the turn that he faints. We could one-shot him with Return before he uses it, but then Intimidate from Arcanine gets us later in the fight, and we're doomed. On almost every try, he uses Leaf Storm to break our Substitute, but once in a while he would use Hypnosis instead. Now, if we just keep using Dig, then he's gonna heal and use Trick Room again before we can stop him. But on this run, I used Dig, then Bite, and that got him to heal while Trick Room wore off, so we could just one-shot him with Return and take him out with our Substitute still intact. Next is Machamp, and thanks to Trick Room being worn off, we can one-shot him without having to worry about him hitting a move and ruining our Substitute. That means as Arcanine came out, we got the one-shot due to Intimidate not working against our Substitute. After that is Rhydon, who lost under half his health from Return, missed Stone Edge, we hit Bite, he missed again, then we took him out. That was crazy. Water Onix is next, and we still have Substitute up, so no Intimidate, and we got the one-shot. And last is Pidgeot, who is also a one-shot. After losing tons to Exeggutor at the start, we got a no-damage sweep. I think it would have been okay if our Substitute went down against Rhydon and we got hit by the second Intimidate. We probably still would have won, but I mean, that was a pretty cool attempt on Blue, I gotta say. Well, this Red fight didn't go at all how I was expecting. Right away, we outsped and one-shot Pikachu. Great start. Second was Blastoise, and although he wasn't a one-shot, we survived Blizzard to hit him again for the knockout. Mind you, it's hailing out here, so the Blizzard can't miss. This is pretty dangerous. Next is Snorlax, who also has Blizzard, but somehow we survived that one too and knocked him out. This is already the farthest we've ever gotten against Red in a solo run. But after that is Lapras, and as the 3rd Pokemon in a row with Blizzard, we couldn't take him out, and we fainted. I mean, we lost the fight, but how insane was it that we even made it that far? That was awesome. It was fun using Eevee again after so long. What games have I not done an Eevee-only run in now? I don't think I've done it in the Gen 5 games, so Black and White 2 and stuff, and I know that I haven't done it in Gen 6. Maybe I have to do those soon. I really hope you guys like that run. Next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week, on Saturday, like usual, with something voted on by you guys on a Patreon poll. I don't know what it is yet, the results aren't in yet by the time I'm writing this. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I'll try and keep it fairly short. I've been very rambly lately, and also I want to get on editing this pretty fast. I've been having a really fun time, actually, streaming my first ever Nuzlocke. It's a Nuzlocke in Pokemon Fire Red. At the time I'm doing this voiceover, there's 2 whole recordings of it that I already have up on the channel. It's in the videos tab, not the live tab, for the Nuzlocke. It's been really fun. I'm not going to tell you exactly how it's gone so far. I don't want to spoil, because I know that a lot of you guys are going to want to go watch that, and I don't want to spoil how it goes for you, but you know what? I'm having a pretty fun time with it, and I think it's because it's not like some crazy heavily randomized thing. The one time I ever tried a little bit of a Nuzlocke was like probably a decade or more ago with my friend Hero, they call me. I doubt that these videos are online anywhere, but me and him and like a couple of his friends did a couple play sessions forever ago of trying to race a Fire Red randomized Nuzlocke thing, and like it was kind of fun just because I'm hanging out with my friends, but I just wasn't super into it. This was long before I was doing like this style of Pokemon challenge. I just wasn't into that. I just didn't really want to do Nuzlockes for a long time, but to be honest, I'm enjoying this one, and I think it's largely because one, it's really fun hanging out with you guys in the chat room, and two, it's not like some crazy randomized thing. Maybe I'll want to randomize it a little bit more in the future once I get better at Nuzlocke and I get more practice in and everything, but I've been having a really fun time with this. So I'm excited to, like, you know, beat my first Nuzlocke and then just keep doing them, I guess. It can just be like a regular side thing I do on the channel, just for fun. Some of those streams are on YouTube, some of those streams are done on Twitch, but the VOD is always going to go up on YouTube. For this first Nuzlocke, I think the whole thing is just going to go up on this main YouTube channel that you're watching right now, but it's entirely possible that I'm going to start putting them in the future up on my YouTube streaming VOD channel thingy. I'll set up this video as a collaboration, actually, with my other channel, so that it's really easy for you guys to find. The link is in the description, but you can also just go to my name on this video, like right below the video, you know, where you'd hit the subscribe button or whatever, and it will say like Mah-Dry-Bread and Mah-Dry-Bread streams, and that'll be a clickable link for you to go subscribe to the other channel if you want to go see the stream VODs I have up over there. Anyway, thank you so much for the $50 supporter shoutout tier. Thank you so much Jacob Busby, Javid Kusro, Grayson Fitz, Tara Luis, Alexandra Hedgeblog. Tara and Alexandra were actually at some of those streams, by the way. Joel Mann, Dark Soul, Young Smoky VP, Cal Anderson, and Crystal Sunrise. Thank you so much for the continued support. It's very much appreciated. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.